If you're thinking about buying a brand new electric vehicle, then there's a good chance that the Renault Zoe is on your shortlist. It is, after all, one of the most affordable pure EVs on sale today. What's more, because it's been around since 2013, the Zoe also makes a great used buy. In terms of size, the Zoe falls into the same super mini class as a Renault Clio or Ford Fiesta, but because the batteries are packaged down here in the floor and because electric motors are so much smaller than internal combustion engines, it's actually quite a practical little car. The boot, for example, is larger than a Clio's, although some of that extra space will be taken up with charging cables. Space in the back is also all right considering this is such a small car on the outside. To give you an idea, I'm 5'11", with the driver's seat is set for me at the moment, and legroom is just about okay. It's a bit of a squash to get my feet under the seat. And the other thing to note, if you are regularly carrying adults in the back, is that because the batteries are under the floor here, it lifts the floor up, and that in turn lifts your knees up, which isn't the most comfortable on really long journeys, although you're probably not going to be doing many of those in a Zoe. This almost flat floor is good though if you do want to try and squeeze 3 people across the back. Parents, meanwhile, will appreciate that not only do the 2 outer rear seats come with ISOFIX, but so too does the passenger seat. And sticking with safety, the Zoe scored a maximum of 5 stars in Euro NCAP's industry standard crash tests. This interior is pleasant enough, and the Zoe is certainly very easy to drive, and all these controls are very intuitive to use for the heating and things. Ideally, it would be good if this driver's seat dropped a bit lower, but there is at least a fair range of adjustment in the steering wheel. There's also no such thing as a poorly equipped Zoe. This best-selling dynamic nav, for example, comes with a preheat function that allows you to warm the car up when it's plugged in, so you don't have to get into a cold car in the morning with a frozen windscreen. Plus it has sat-nav, a DAB radio and rear parking sensors. The digital instrument display, meanwhile, is easy to follow with a large speedo and a clear graphic showing your remaining battery power and range. Did somebody say range? Ah yes, that thorniest of subjects when it comes to electric cars, or at least it has been, because as cars like the Tesla Model S and Hyundai Kona Electric have shown, it is possible to have a pure EV that will do more than 200 miles on a full charge. Now, the Zoe isn't in that same league, but it has still improved massively since it first went on sale. Our R110 ZE40 model, for example, has an estimated range of up to 186 miles. Admittedly, that will drop to around 120 miles in colder weather or if you don't drive in a sympathetic manner. But that's still a useful range and kind of sums up where the Zoe is pitched. It's not designed to be a long distance cruiser, but instead it's an urban runabout that can also be used for a reasonable length commute. If you do want to tackle longer journeys and need the quickest charging time possible, Renault offers a Q90 version of the Zoe. That can use the kind of quick chargers you find at motorway service stations to gain an 80% battery charge in just over an hour. This R110 model would take around an hour and 40 minutes to do the same, but it's a bit cheaper to buy, it's a bit quicker to drive, and in reality it can still be charged from the 7 kilowatt home wall box that Renault will supply with the car when you buy it new in around 5 hours, and that really is how Zoes are designed to be used. You'll also need to decide whether to buy your Zoe with a battery or instead opt to pay significantly less for the car up front and then lease the battery from around £60 per month, depending on how many miles you do. Other than that, running costs are tiny. For example, there's no road tax to pay and a full charge will only cost around £4 or £5. The driving experience is also really quite charming. This R110 model feels genuinely brisk up to about 40 miles an hour, and although acceleration does then tail off, the instant response you get from an electric motor ensures that the Zoe at least always feels responsive. It also handles quite well, the ride is fine, and even the feel through the brake pedal is okay considering that it's harvesting energy for the batteries. These are all enviable qualities, but whether an EV is right for you still hinges on the kind of driving you do. However, this is slowly changing as the cars are becoming more capable, and in many ways no model represents this better than the Zoe, which is now quite a bit faster and can travel significantly further than when it was first launched in 2013. If you are looking to see what an EV can offer, this is a likeable and competitively priced place to start, whether you're buying new or used. Or if you prefer your Renaults to be much faster and a fair bit thirstier too, then check out my colleague Dan Prosser's review of the Megane Trophy. And when it comes to looking for your next car, remember that you can find great deals from top-rated dealers at cargurus.co.uk.